Camera.
No one was with me, and tell me if you guys think that looks like a ghost child, because I don't know. But I didn't know if she photoshopped it or not. So I went to my videos and I screenshotted the exact part that she shows right there. And
I got chills.
I see the face too.
I got chills. I got chills. You already know what it is. It's your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode. Hey, TikTok, you up to bat. Wow. It's your boy Laid Back. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, two things we gotta do. You gotta hit that subscribe button. I'm drinking this water. You already know what it is, man. You are the prize in 2025. You are the prize in 2025. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Stay up to date with all the videos. Hey, we back with another one. But look, we coming up with the 2026 slogan. I need to see it in the comments. I've been seeing a lot of good stuff though. But we almost here to the new year, man. So make sure you drop it in the comments. But look, we back with another one. This is about Randonautica. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but we stumbled on this like recently and y'all was like, yo, you should check it out. It's really crazy. So we here. You make it to the end of this one, you a real one for real. Make sure you put that in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button and share the video. But let's go ahead and get into it. Fire Squad, what's popping? Let's get it. Before we get back into the video, I want to tell you guys a quick and easy way that you can make money just by playing games on your phone. Free Cash is a program that helps games and apps to find new users. So how it works is the companies get paid just from you playing the games. But where Free Cash comes in is they take some of that money and they reroute it to you. Now, this is not a get rich quick scheme. You actually have to play the games to actually get the money. So you can either hit the link in my description or you can use a QR code on the screen. Super easy to sign up. All you need is an email and a password. If you use the link, they'll give you $5 immediately to your account, credited to your account by using the link. And it's super easy to withdraw. You can either withdraw through Bitcoin, PayPal, or bank transfer. Super easy. Most people is making like $10 to $20 a day. But if you got some time, you can really lock in. You can see that this game right here is paying $1,020 just to complete it. So it's games out there where you can make some money for real, but you got to lock in and put the time in though. So if you already use your phone to play games and stuff like that, let that phone actually make some money for you too. So make sure you hit that link in the description, hit the QR code, make some easy money, man. Shout out to the squad. Peace.
You know the whole Randonautica, like, do you know that people found like the
dead body too?
You remember that, right? You know they found out who the bodies were?
Nah.
It was a couple. Her name was Jessica and her boyfriend name was Austin, and those were the people that was in the luggage.
In the luggage?
Yes, bro. They found out who them, and it was their landlord. His name was Mike. Bro, he has a history of like animal abuse and like people abuse, like things like that, like assault and things like that. They said that a woman, after like them, he let her move into the crib, and she said that she went into the crib and seen hella clothes everywhere, and underneath like a pile of clothes, like, well, it was a bloody hand.
What?
She went into the basement, and in the basement it was lined up with plastic, and then even like the neighbors like reported hearing like screams and like thuds and like that, and then she seen scratch marks on like the floor.
Oh,
bro, crazy. So supposedly, I guess he them because they didn't pay their rent.
Oh, of course. Oh my God.
But like, that's crazy how Randonauting
Just solved the
whole problem.
That's crazy.
whoa, this is gonna be crazy.
So I'm pretty sure everyone's seen this video of where those teenagers went on Randonaut and found the dead bodies in the suitcase on Alki Beach in Seattle. And that really freaked me out because it was real. And we currently have a serial killer on the loose in our area. And that really got me thinking. I was like, I feel like Seattle has like a lot of serial killers because like Ted Bundy and stuff. And I looked it up and oh my God, 50%? What? Like...
What?
Bruh.
50%?
I'm like shook right now. That is so scary. Like what? What about this area like attracts these people? I want to know.
A lot of people, like when they're using Randonautica, there's like theories that it's actually controlled by like the dark web. It'll lead you to weird places, right? So I think there was one case in Seattle, right? and there was these kids that they were like, oh, I'm a geocache, I'm gonna do this and something cool, right?
Yeah.
Let's find something cool. For everyone that doesn't know geocaching, you get a random location, you go to that location, and I guess you find an object.
It's like a souvenir box.
Yeah.
And then it's called a cache.
Exactly.
And pretty much you like sign your name or they leave some objects in it.
Yeah, and Carlos does it hella time.
Yeah, I do all the time. It's fun as fuck, bro. That's just fun.
So there's a case in Seattle where a bunch of these kids wanted to do it, right? So they put in they generated the coordinates, and this coordinate sent I think it was to a random like beach, like a you know in LA where it's like that homeless beach.
Yeah.
What do you call that? The one that Andre took us to?
Venice Beach?
Yeah, Venice Beach. It was like a Venice Beach type vibe in Seattle. And then the coordinate, when they were in the video, they saw like on the rocks there was a suitcase, and that suitcase was like, that was the coordinate that they were looking for. It sent them exactly to that suitcase, right?
Yeah.
So the kids go up and like, okay, I think this is our item, right? So they open it carefully, and then they see like plastic. And they're like, what the fuck? So they take a couple sticks and they poke at it to see if there's like anything alive in there.
Yeah.
There's nothing alive. So they open the plastic a bit more, and they get a whiff.
Oh, it's
Like
death.
Yeah, like
So it's like death.
yeah, like one of those. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what is in this? And then all of a sudden, they see 2 mutilated bodies in that thing, right? So obviously, they're like, okay, yo, gotta call the cops. I think the cops investigated it, and they found a wife and a husband, and they traced it back because I think
This is some wild stuff, man.
The Randonautica app claims to use the law of attraction to find a nearby adventure. Released in February 2020, the app was developed by Joshua Lengfelder. Users are given coordinates on a map that they can follow and report their findings. It professes to channel the intentions of its users in order to lead them to relevant spots of potential adventure nearby.
What?
Users must think about what they'd like to get out of their session before focusing their intentions. According to the devs themselves, the app is an attractor of strange things. The app gained controversial attention when a group, following their prescribed coordinates, found a suitcase containing 2 dead bodies in Duwamish, West Seattle. Since the discovery, many have speculated that the app has an eerie ulterior motive. This has led to an explosion of Randonautica videos appearing on Reddit and TikTok. As for the veracity of these videos, viewers will have to brave viewing them for themselves. You can decide for yourself just what is real and what is not.
Have you guys ever tried this? I'm not touching it.
This video is another example on why to be very cautious when using Randonautica. These 2 girls were led to this location and some random guy appeared in a field. I'm gonna roll the clip right now.
Why did we just go to this fucking quantum point and this whole fucking person is Sky?
Whoa, in the dark? In the middle of the dark?
My fucking bitch, I can't. What if the person shows up in my rear view camera? No, bitch, I can't.
They playing with some... No, sir.
I've noticed the app Randonautica coming up a lot again. People have been sharing their experiences with it. And there have been a lot of really crazy, interesting ones. I feel like, for the most part, most people do not appreciate how strange this app really is. It's released in 2020 and marketed as a create-your-own-adventure app. The idea is that you set a radius from your location, how far you're willing to go, and it will drop a random GPS point for you to go explore. Random point isn't quite random because in the instructions, it tells you that as the GPS point is being generated, you need to set an intention to focus on what it is you want to find or get out of it. And it could be anything from very vague to very specific. A rainbow, a horse, or something more general like joy or fear. The last one's not recommended. And once the point is generated, you go there and you see what you find. Once it was released in 2020, it became really clear really fast that there were some real spooky things happening. Like in 2020, when the app first became popular, the results of one random excursion to a group of teenagers finding a dead body in a suitcase. The intention that this group set was travel. The generated point led them to a remote beach in West Seattle, where they found a suitcase, travel. But in a shocking coincidence, those teens also found 2 dead bodies in that suitcase. Another one I remember when I was first hearing about it was that a group set their intention as rainbow. Generated point led them to a neighborhood where there was a rainbow painted fence. Another story says they set their intention to cat, and when they showed up at the point, a random stray kitten walked out of the woods and straight up to them. So how exactly is this working? Well, turns out this is not just a random fun adventure game. There's a whole theory behind this. It is called the Fathom Project. I don't know if I said that right, but you can read the full thing on the Randonautica website. However, it's very long and sounds pretty technical at times, so let's sum it up. The Fathom Project was born as an attempt to research unknown spaces outside predetermined probability tunnels of the holistic world. And there are 2 experiments inside of this theory. Experiment 1 is called probability blind spots. It pretty much explains that each of us exist inside of our own reality tunnel. We have a set path of behaviors and habits and routines, routes we usually take. Like most of us go the same way to work and school every day. We're going to go the same way home. We're going to just go into autopilot and do the things we always do. So this theory says no matter which path we choose, wherever we decide to go, there is a limited number of logical chains that will guide our mind when choosing a route, even if it seems to us that we act by chance. There is always a place where none of these logical chains of choice leads, called probability blind spots. To go along with these blind spots are rules and habits and routines, our own reality tunnel, along with factors like our personality. It creates something called a stasis field, a force that keeps each of us inside our own individual reality tunnels, and that makes anything outside of it nearly invisible to you. Our stasis field is basically our own individual matrix, keeping us inside the matrix. So the theory is that by using this random number generator that this app is based on to generate coordinates, that it will propel you into these blind spots you would never otherwise go to. And by doing so, by breaking out of our individual matrix, to change our reality. The second experiment is what they call mind-influenced randomness, and it uses a method from Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research Lab. It uses an electronic random event generator to test psychokinesis, which is mind over matter. Princeton used this method with great success, actually. Decades of research and experimentation proved human mind capable of influencing the randomness of the generator. Randonautica uses the server of the Australian National University's quantum number generator to generate these random numbers. When you pull up this app and you generate a point, what it's doing is it's dropping random points all over this map. It's using the method of the chaos game and the whatever this is triangle. Here's where it gets fun. So when you pull it up to generate a point, it's going to give you a choice of point types. Attractor points are points that drop very closely together on the map. Void patches are the spots on a map where the points don't fall, like there seems to be a void space. If you pick power, it will give you the point that seems the most anomalous. The strangest point generated on the map, I actually can't remember what the quantum point is. And the pseudo point is just completely random. It picks out of any of the points. As it is generating, set that intention and focus on it, because there lies the magic. And there is actually a way to see if your point has been influenced by you. And you get a point, this score comes up. It shows you the radius and the z-score and the power. This z-score you want to look at. The developers claim that anything over 5 is considered interesting. The higher the z-score, the stronger the influence. It's also why you should never set your intention as something like scary or dangerous, because it could lead you straight to danger. It is capable of generating meaningful synchronicities. And as the experiences of many people show, the results of these random excursions showing something downright paranormal at times. If you have a strange or interesting Randonautica experience, I would love to hear it.
This sounds really crazy.
Randonautica is back, and it seems to be scarier than ever. Back in 2020, an app was created called Randonautica, which randomly generates coordinates for the user to explore. This is exactly how the app works. All it says is finding location, focus on your intent. Because it's supposed to be based off of how you feel, and what you feel like you're gonna find is what you're gonna find. And most of the time, people find a lot of stupid stuff. Random drawings and cutouts. But there has been other occurrences where people have actually found unalived people, like the suitcase video that went viral a couple years ago. All based on the Randonautica app. And the scariest part about Randonautica is you have no idea where you're going. This group of friends gets sent way to the backcountry to explore an abandoned barn. Yeah, for me, I'm not doing that. But like I said, for some people, they've had a great time while on this app, exploring random things, having a good time. And I would say for 95% of the population who's used this app will probably never find anything absolutely insane. But in my opinion, putting your trust inside of an app to go to some random coordinates is absolutely insane. Because as I said before, you have genuinely no idea where you're going. Knowing me, if I use this app, I would probably run into some stupid drawings or something. Or I would run into something absolutely terrifying. I'm gonna say it because I know I'm gonna get a question. Chris, how many likes for you to go Randonautica-ing? Or Randonauting? Not even sure what they call it anymore. If this video gets 150,000 likes, I will go Randonauting.
150,000. He know he ain't about to get that. He said, bump that.
Do you remember when Randonautica was really trendy and everyone was randonauting or whatever? Well, this story is going to make you glad that you didn't, or it's going to make you not want to do it again. So we're going to call this girl Jenna. Jenna decided that she wanted to do the trend. So she forced her friend Mia to do it with her, and she set the intention, because if you don't know what Randonautica is, it's an app based on your intention. So you set an intention for what you'd like to find or whatever, and it generates a location. So she decided on something creepy. So Jenna and her friend Mia get in their car and they start heading to the location it generated for them. So they start getting close to the generated location and they notice that they are now in this like half abandoned neighborhood, and it's like the sidewalks are cracked, everything's grown over, the houses look very abandoned and falling apart, and it is also starting to get dark. So it's definitely creepy already. So the area where the actual pinned location is in like a wooded area. So they can't actually drive up to it. They have to park in this cul-de-sac in between all these like abandoned houses. And Jenna's low-key like, I kind of have a bad feeling about this, but I still want to do it. So let's go. And they get out and they walk into the wooded area behind the houses to the pin. They look down and there is a Polaroid. Jenna picks up the Polaroid and she said that it's damaged, like burned. Like someone tried to burn it, but then it got pulled back out of the fire or something. So I don't know, and she doesn't know if it was in a house that burned down or if someone was deliberately trying to destroy it. But she said what was in the picture is what was creepy. It was a little pale girl with dark hair, like my girl in the back there. Why does all the creepy images look like my girl back there? I didn't even notice her in the back. Why is she being picked on? As they're looking at the photo of this creepy little girl, they hear a sound over by this like sagging chain link fence. So they start looking around trying to see what it is. And because this is like I said, it's not a fully abandoned neighborhood, so there's still electricity. You know those big tall street lights? There was enough light from one of the street lights that they could see the silhouette of someone. They thought it was a person at first, but it didn't look exactly like a person. It was just the silhouette. There was no features, and it was just standing there. And it wasn't moving. It was just like watching them, lurking from the shadows. So like a shadow person, I assume, is what she's describing. And then she said it started making a clicking sound, like in the movie The Grudge.
I ain't never
Right
seen
after it started making this clicking sound, like real horror movie shit, it started twitching. So her and Mia take off running back to the car. They could not get out of there fast enough, and they start heading back to Jenna's house. A very important note in this story that I noticed is that they did not put the Polaroid down. It is still with them when they get in the car. They take it with them. They take the freaking Polaroid with them when they get in the car. And remember, she set the intention of something creepy in the app, which is what generated this location. But now the location in the Randonautica app was her house.
Here we go with the bull. Here we go. That's some cap, bro. I don't know. It might be real.
I've done a lot of crazy things in my life, and unfortunately, being on this app is one of them.
What do you mean by that?
And no, I'm not talking about TikTok. This app that I'm talking about is one of the most disturbing and terrifying apps, so let's talk about it. If you have a clear visual memory of 2020, then you probably remember an app coming out called Randonautica. It's an app where you search in the stuff that you want to discover, and it literally gives you the coordinates of where you can go. Within a couple of months, it took a terrifying turn. People were finding trash bags full of things that should not be said on social media. People were finding people dressed up. People were hiding in abandoned houses. And people were also going to places where there was fresh blood on the ground. Believe it or not, it's still running to this day. So if you've heard about this app, would you have given it a try? And if you've already done it, did you experience anything weird?
Let's talk about scary randonauting. If you're new here, hi. I just talked about some pretty scary stuff, and today I'm going to be talking about my best friend's experience randonauting. Absolutely crazy, and she just told me about it. If you don't know what randonauting is, it is this app that you put on your phone called Randonaut, and you set an intention to take you somewhere within a certain distance. You can set the distance and the radius and stuff. and it'll take you somewhere to fill your intention. Many of you might be familiar when those teenagers found those 2 bodies in the suitcase and they posted it on social media. That's what they were using. Anyways, let's get into it. So my best friend was out randonauting when the sun was still barely up and set the intention to, I think creepy, something like that. They start driving and they soon realize that they are driving on a gravel road in the middle of nowhere. There are wheat fields all around them because we live in the Midwest, and it's dark by the time that they get out there. As my friend and everyone in the car was like, this is bogus, a crow flies and almost hits the car. This bird got so close to the car that everyone started screaming. So my friend obviously parks the car because that was really hectic, looks at my friend M, who's in the passenger seat, and kind of looks past his head for a second and sees someone standing in the field.
What?
Now, she tells me she doesn't know what it was and she wasn't sure what it was, so she never told me about it, but her instinct was to get out of there. So that's exactly what she did. She turned the car around and she looked one last time into the field to see if it would still be there, and it was gone. And at that point in time, she's telling me that, and she's like, well, I don't know what it was. And I said, if your body's telling you that you just need to go to be safe, it was probably something that was not supposed to be out there with you guys. The crazy thing is, too, that she never told anyone in the car what she saw, either because she didn't want to scare them. But that is one of my biggest fears living in the Midwest, is I'm going to be driving at night through a field or something, or on a road next to a field, and I'm going to look over and see someone or something in the field. I think she handled it perfectly, though, by not telling anyone, because if it was me in the car, I would have started freaking out.
I'm screaming.
But that's going to do it for me. Stay tuned for more ghost stories.
I'm screaming. I say, ah! Like, I'm going crazy.
She don't even turn around and look at me. All I hear her say is, don't get out. I said, shit, you ain't gonna tell me twice, fuck. Lock that motherfucker. This ain't no scary movie. I ain't investigating shit, bitch. Let me tell you motherfuckers something about Randonautica. Think that shit a game if you want to. That motherfucker ain't playing no games with you. On God. I met this girl on like Tinder or something like that. One of them dating apps. And for our date, we decided we gonna go Randonautica. Randonautica? Is that a fucking word? Either way, we went Randonautica. We went to go Randonautica. Just to make sure neither one of us was a serial killer, we met at McDonald's, so we wasn't like giving each other addresses and all that. We meet at McDonald's, she get out of her car, I get out of mine, I hug her, I open the door for her, she get in. She get into my car and we giggling and shit like, okay, what we gonna type in there first? If I'm not mistaken, because I haven't been on there since I did it the last time, and that was the last time. If I'm not mistaken, they have a choice of you searching something vague and then something specific. That whole time we was doing it, we was doing vague shit. But with vague, you get vague stuff. So we'll search something like a skeleton or something like that, trying to see we see something spooky, and it would take us to somebody's house that had a skeleton like decorated on like their porch and shit like that. It's not far-fetched that happened because I was living in Arizona, so a lot of people have like Dia de los Muertos like decorations around their house all times of the year type shit. So it was like, oh, that's interesting. It took us to a skeleton. At this point, we've been driving for hours. We done did like 7 or 10 of them, and they was all vague. So it's like, okay, I'm kind of getting bored, so I think she might be getting bored. So I'm like, all right, time to get specific. And I seen like her eyes widen up, like, oh yeah, let's do it. So I'm thinking I got the green light. I'm like, oh, let's get this shit on. No. So I searched death, and I put it in specific.
What?
On God in heaven, that shit took us to the parking lot of a hospital. On God. Now, okay. That ain't nothing crazy. I ain't got to the crazy part yet. The girl that I was with is Mexican. I'm obviously very black. So we had been saying racist jokes to each other the whole time just because we thought it was funny. It was a joke. I'm like, I'm finna put racist in a specific section.
Nah.
And she busts all laughing like, yeah, do that shit. So I type in racist and we driving, right? We driving for like probably like 30 minutes because we had driven like pretty much 30 minutes from where we met at. We driving, we go past the McDonald's. We go down this street, Each time I made a turn, she would look over at me like, where are you going? Like she was confused on where I was going. We was like 5 minutes from my destination and she just like kept like going like this in her seat. Like her face said, what you doing? 2 minutes left in the ride, and I look over at her, I'm like, you straight? At this point, the energy in the car had like shifted. Like at first it was like bubbly, we listened to music type shit. At this point, she was silent. She wasn't singing along none of the songs.
Whoa.
And at this point, I had stopped playing music. Man, we pull up to the spot and I thought she seen a ghost. I park and she immediately gets out. Like open the door up. I'm like, oh, okay, this is weird. She opened her door real quick, but she didn't get out quick. She just got out like kind of like slow. And she was about to like grab the door so she can get out and like close it. I grabbed the handle of my door and I opened it. Like you can hear the pop to the door opening. She don't even turn around and look at me. All I hear her say is, "Don't get out." I said, shit, you ain't gonna tell me twice for lock that motherfucker. This ain't no scary movie. I ain't investigating shit, bitch. I closed back and locked my door, and then I look over and some people coming out of the house. And she still don't turn around to me. Like I said, she Mexican, so she...
Hold on. He better not have pulled up at her house. He better not have pulled up at her house and her people are racist. Hold on, man. Hold on. Let's see what he talking about.
She's speaking in Spanish to the people coming out of the house. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck going on. Finally, everybody get quiet, and she turn around and say, "How do you know where I live at?"
What'd I say?
I said, "Bitch, on God in heaven, you watch me type that shit into Randonautica. I don't know where you live at." Also, at this point, I'm not even paying attention to what the people in the background doing. I wish I was, though. Because as soon as I said, "You just watch me type that into Randonautica," she said, "You need to go now."
Whoa.
As soon as she said now, I seen about 5 of them motherfuckers, bald, tattoos, no shirt on, come out of that bitch strapped. Man, she closed that door. That foot was on the motherfucking pedal, my nigga. I ain't never drove and kept my head down, so...
Oh, hell no! Hey, he said that foot was on the pedal. I was...
That foot was on the motherfucking pedal, my nigga. I ain't never drove and kept my head down so bad. They ain't shoot, but I had their head down in case they did, motherfucker. Long story short, she texted me later that night. Like, we talking about, like, what the fuck happened? I'm trying to figure out what happened.
Oh,
Long story short, she tell me that her family hates black people.
What'd I say?
And she was supposed to be with a friend. Like, they didn't even know she was with a dude. Like, she was supposed to be with a friend. So when they seen me in the car with her, they tweaked out, like, type shit. The last time I talked to her, and that was the last time I used Randonautica. That shit ain't no game, boy.
Took her to her crib, and she got racist. Oh, nah.
So I'm seeing everyone talk about Randonautica stories again, and I'd love to share mine. Okay, to set the scene, what is it, 2020. Randonautica is all the rage. Everyone's doing it. I haven't really done it since because I choose peace. If you don't know what Randonautica is, look it up. It's an app. It, like, come to think of it, it kind of gave Ouija board vibes.
Ooh.
Which I don't fuck with that at all. I was just stupid and didn't really use my brain when I was 16. Okay, so I love, like, creepy shit. I love scary movies. I love that stuff to a limit. I just didn't really have a limit when I was younger. So I'm with one of my friends. I'm like, ooh, we're gonna be spooky. Like, what should we set our intention to? And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something weird. I think we did, like, dying or death or blood. So weird. I wanted to be creeped out. So I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? I don't believe in it. Like, it was quarantine. Everyone was out of their mind. So we start getting on our way, and it happens to be inside of a neighborhood. And luckily, I, like, knew someone in the neighborhood, so I was able to get through the gate. But it gives you a pinpoint location, right? And it's kind of hard to find it sometimes. So we think it's at this house, and then we're looking at it, and we're like, we look around at the house, we're like, I don't think this is it. So we keep going, and we realize, oh, it absolutely was that house. So we start making our way back to the house, and we get out to inspect, and, you know, once again, I'm like, ugh, boring, this did nothing, I didn't see anything. Until I look down, and all of a sudden, there is this little bunny rabbit, dead, ripped to shreds.
Whoa.
Fresh blood dripping out of it. We were just at that house. We didn't see anything. But literally 5 seconds later, we came back to see this dead bunny. Like, the blood, sorry, not to be graphic. The blood was dripping down it. Like, it was fresh. And we were just there. So whatever the fuck happened had to have happened within the, like, 5 seconds that we drove a few feet forward and then came back. So naturally, I freaked the fuck out. We all started freaking out. I have a picture of it, but I'm just not gonna show it. I don't know. It honestly could have been a coyote. It's very normal to see dead bunnies killed from coyotes on the street. Like, that happens often enough, but it was just so weird that we were there 5 seconds before and it wasn't there, and the second we came back it was fresh. It's just a little odd. Anyways, fuck Randonautica. That thing is creepy as hell. I choose peace. I did again and did one on aliens. That story's interesting, but for the sake of time, I'll make you wait.
This sounds some crazy stuff, man.
What is Randonautica? How does it work, and how does it know where to send you? All right, so boom. First, you want to go to the App Store and search Randonautica and download this one right here. Not this freaky ass one with the sexy boob, sexy owl looking thing. So when you first download it, it's going to ask you what language you want it to be in and tell you to agree to some terms and then sign in. Once you sign in, it's going to bring you to this freaky ass screen and gives you a little bit of a feel how it is to randonaut.
What if there was more wonder to wandering? What if the mind, your mind, and your thoughts had an impact on the environment around you?
What the fuck?
If your journey is truly random, what will you discover?
Now, I can't lie. When I first used the app, that wasn't a thing. Like, I just signed in and then I just started doing it. They didn't have no introduction video, so this is crazy. The app didn't explain to me what to do or nothing like that. I just had to figure it out on my own. But in the video, they tell you how to do it, so I'm gonna show it right here.
In this main activity of the app, simply pinch zoom to set a maximum distance for your journey. As you prepare to embark on your Randonautica trip, we recommend to set an intention. Just focus your mind on something specific, a word or theme. Now hit start. Focus your mind on the intention, while the Randonautica app uses a quantum random number generator to generate a random coordinate within your radius. You can preview the generated destination on the map, bookmark it, and hit go to start your journey.
As you can see, that's pretty much how to do it. I will add on top of that, go randonauting at your own risk. Because as you know from my Randonautica video, it can get crazy. Be safe.
Man, don't mess with that thing, man.
Randonautica is the scariest app you'll ever hear. What started as a simple tool for adventure has spiraled into something much darker. The app, which randomly generates coordinates for users to explore, has led people to some truly terrifying discoveries. The most chilling incident happened in Seattle, where a group of friends, using the app, found a suitcase washed up on the shore. Inside were the dismembered bodies of 2 people. This horrifying discovery set off a wave of panic. People began to suspect that the app wasn't just leading them to random places, but somehow guiding them to sinister locations. There have even been allegations that the app is connected to human trafficking, though the creators deny it. But with so many bizarre coincidences reported, many users are convinced that Randonautica taps into something much more sinister. The idea that an app can break you out of your predetermined reality sounds innocent, but when the reality it leads you to involves corpses and other unsettling scenes, it feels like you're walking into a nightmare. Some say that the app is a portal to dark forces, that it knows too much about where it sends you. Whether it's just eerie coincidences or something more, Randonautica has quickly become one of the most feared apps in the world. Be careful what you search for, because you might not like what you find. Like and follow for more conspiracy theories, stories, and interesting topics.
So I keep seeing that Randonaut thing all over TikTok, and I really want to try it out. So I just downloaded the app, and I found a location that's like 1.5 miles by my house.
This is why you don't go randonauting when you don't know what you're doing. TikTok user Taylor Vasquez wanted to try the app out for herself. And if you don't know, this app gives you random coordinates based on your own manifestations. And while the science behind it is unproven, that didn't stop Taylor from manifesting something near her home, where she saw strange pictures that she couldn't explain. But here's the first clip, and let me know what you think.
Alright, so I think I gotta go this way down a creek.
She by herself? She by herself, she crazy.
Alright, this is what I found so far. Pretty creepy. I'll go see what that is.
By yourself?
So I just opened up one of the photos, and it's whatever the f that is. Then we have these random 3. This one's It's Your Birthday with the snowman with, I don't know. And these 2 I just put together. It's like Play With Me. Alright, I think it was just my imagination. I think I'm just hearing shit, but I'm trying to read these. I swear I'm friendly. Play with me. I swear I'm friendly. Play with me.
Now, after her first video went viral, a viewer pointed out something that she didn't see while she was there. And while Taylor doesn't have an active TikTok account anymore, she did end up going back to the same spot and finding a notebook. But I'll leave that for part 2 if you want it. But here's what she caught on camera.
No one was with me, and tell me if you guys think that looks like a ghost child, because I don't know. But I didn't know if she photoshopped it or not. So I went to my videos and I screenshotted the exact part that she shows right there. And
I got chills.
I see the face too.
I got chills. I got chills.
So when you hit the generate button, we're calling a bunch of quantum random numbers from a laser in a vacuum that's actually at the Australian National University. Like a vacuum space is like the emptiness, right? Yeah. And to have like quantum randomness, so true randomness, we use that. We then take an overlay of like our algorithm and it finds an anomaly. These certain random numbers shouldn't have done this particular thing. They shouldn't be in a clump or a big cluster, which is called an attractor, and there shouldn't be none, a big empty space, which is a void. And so it identifies how these kind of particles landed, and then it says, this is a really weird situation, and puts your point there.
Right.
But then for you as the user, like that's just kind of the tool. But as the randonauts, you guys are testing what we call mind-matter interaction to see, can my mind have an influence on the world around me, and can it have an influence on random numbers?
This sounds like some witch shit.
I'm just a girl that likes true crime and scary stories. Here's episode 2 of Spooky Secrets. So for this story, we're talking about Randonautica, which is an app that you can give it a prompt, and in return, it will give you coordinates that you can go to. So back in 2020, 2021, there was a group of friends that did this, and they got coordinates to maybe an oceanside or a lakeside and ended up finding a body in a suitcase. That's the same app that they used here. Thank you, Smelly Nerd Chick, for this story. I heard about Randonautica back in 2020 during the beginning of the pandemic. I thought it looked interesting and that it might be a good way to get out of the house. My boyfriend and I tried it out a couple times. It took us to random places, but nothing creepy, which was our intention. Fast forward to today, and I'm scrolling Facebook and came across a post about how they found remains of a missing girl, Candace Fitzpatrick. She went missing in 2008 from Oshawa, Ontario. Her DNA was found in a freezer of Adam Strong, who is also a resident of Oshawa. Candace was never found until November 2021. I remember seeing on Facebook that the forensic unit was out near the back of my house in November because of remains being found. I had a brief thought about maybe they found Candace but didn't really think anything else about it. At the news conference, they talked about where her remains were found, and out of curiosity, I decided to check Google Maps and see if it was the same location as the forensic search last November. I was not prepared to find that it was the same location Randonautica took us the very first time we tried it.
What?
Now I just feel sick. The rando pin was in a small bunch of trees behind a bunch of newer houses. We parked the truck, walked down the path and off the path trying to get closer to the pin. We ended up giving up because the bush was so thick and left. I haven't used Randonautica since 2020 because nothing really happened and I thought it was fake, but boy, was I wrong.
This is part 2 for why you should never ask Randonautica to show you something creepy. So Jenna drops Mia off at her house because Mia is absolutely done with this situation, and Jenna goes back home. Jenna lives alone. So I'm prefacing that for a reason. Jenna lives alone. Jenna still has the freaking Polaroid, which is a big mistake, but she doesn't think anything about it. She just kind of throws it on her nightstand in her room, does her thing, lives her life, does her nightly things, right? So at first it's fine, nothing's abnormal. I mean, yeah, the whole pin drop at her house thing was creepy, but she's like, whatever, I'm so done with this. Until at night, when she starts to get ready for bed. So she starts getting ready for bed. She walks out of her room to go brush her teeth in the bathroom. When she's brushing her teeth, she hears the TV in her room start that really loud static. Like it just turned on and went straight to that obnoxious static. And when she walked in there to check, she also noticed that the lamp on her nightstand where the Polaroid is laying, that lamp is on. And she is, of course, freaked out. And another thing she noticed was that her cat's acting funny. She does have a cat. The cat's acting funny. It's like pacing around, very uncomfortable. The next thing is she can hear footsteps out in her like hallway, but not like stomping footsteps. It's like someone dragging their feet with socks on. Now at this point, she is definitely freaked out, but what is she really gonna do about it? It's nighttime. So she gets in bed and goes to sleep, and just like any other typical horror story, she wakes up around 3 a.m. But she doesn't wake up to any noise. She wakes up because she feels like something is watching her. And so she looks around her room and she feels like she can see a shadow at the end of her bed. But when she goes to grab her phone to turn her light on to look, it's gone. So she goes back to sleep. She gets up the next morning and she looks at the Polaroid.
I'm turning all the lights on in the crib. You done brushed your teeth. You hearing somebody dragging their feet. The TV is on with static. The light is on. Every light is on in the... Man, look.
Beside her bed. And she gets a little weirded out because she said she feels like it looks different. Like the girl in the photo was like this, and then now her head is tilted like this, and her eyes are darker. And so she sends a picture to Mia, and she's like, hey, does this look different from yesterday? And Mia's like, yeah, her head was not tilted yesterday, and her eyes were definitely not that dark in that photo. Still, for some reason, she does not get rid of the Polaroid. She just leaves it there. So the next night, she goes to bed, and again, she wakes up around 3 a.m. But this time, now remember, the Polaroid is burned. The Polaroid looks like someone tried to burn it, but it didn't burn, or they put it out too early. So the next night around 3 a.m., she wakes up to her fire alarm going off. It's screeching through her entire house. She gets up and ends up having to just snatch it out of the ceiling because it won't stop screeching. There was no smoke, no fire, obviously. It was just randomly going off, and she could not sleep. So she just went and sat on the couch all night. Jenna's final straw was her walking into her bedroom, and the Polaroid that was on her nightstand was now laying on her pillow. And she was like, oh no, I'm done with this. I don't care what this is about. I don't care who's in the photo. She grabbed that Polaroid, drove it back to where she found it. She said she didn't do any ritual, no cleansing or anything, which I personally think she should have. And she should have, if you know anything about paranormal stuff, you need to be like, hey, you cannot come back home with me. You have to stay here. You have to use your authority over these things. But all she did was just like buried it back where she found it, just put it back under the leaves like she found it. And she said that everything felt lighter. She went back home and everything was back to normal. No more sounds, no nothing. 2 lessons you should have learned from this story. Do not take random weird creepy objects into your home, and don't ask Randonautica to show you something creepy because you just might get exactly what you asked for. Also, if you do have any of your own personal creepy stories, you can either DM them to me or send them to the email that I have in my bio. I read other people's creepy stories. If you don't mind me reading them, send them to me.
People is weird, bro.
Remember the Randonautica app? I don't think you realize how strange Randonautica really is. Have you ever wondered why so many people have had terrifying experiences while using the app? People have even been led to literal crime scenes. We all know about the suitcase incident, where a group of teens were using the Randonautica app in West Seattle and followed the app's coordinates to a remote beach. That's where they found a suitcase filled with human remains. The app is supposed to take you to a random location when you set an intention. For example, if your intention is something scary, the app uses a random number generator to pick coordinates that will lead you somewhere scary. But the thing is, the app has no real way of knowing what your intention really is. In reality, you're just supposed to focus on it in your head. So how would it know where to lead you based on something that's in your head? On the app's website, it talks about something called the Fatum Project, which in simple terms is the idea that our minds and intentions can somehow influence random events in the physical world. The creators talk about mind-matter interaction, meaning that when you focus on a thought or intention like crime, death, or something happy, the app uses random quantum coordinates that somehow line up with that energy, which by the way has not been proven true. There are multiple theories about this app. Some people say it's just psychology and coincidence. Your brain sees what it wants to see, kind of like confirmation bias. Another disturbing theory is that there are actually people, possibly from the dark web, behind the app, who purposely send users to terrifying locations or even crime scenes. But a lot of people believe it goes much deeper than that. Maybe it's something more supernatural. When you open yourself up and willingly invite darkness, something is going to answer. For example, a woman named Taylor Vasquez had a very demonic experience while using Randonautica.
Alright, so I think I gotta go this way down a creek.
Oh yeah, you've seen this.
Alright, this one I found so far. Pretty creepy. I'll go see what that is. Okay, so I just opened up one of the photos, and it's whatever the that is. Then we have these random three. This one's It's Your Birthday with the snowman with, I don't know. And these two I just put together. It's like, play with me. Alright, I think it was just my imagination. I think I'm just hearing shit, but I'm trying to read these. I swear I'm friendly. Play with me. I swear I'm friendly. Play with me. And tell me if you guys think that looks like a ghost child, because I don't know.
I think I figured out how Randonautica works and how it can take people to like crime scenes and weird places. And if you don't know what this app is, it's basically an app where you can download it and it's supposed to take you to a random place when you set an intention. So, you know, you'll open up the app, let's say you put like something scary and it's supposed to take you to somewhere scary. Or let's say you want to put somewhere like love and it will take you to somewhere where you will find love. Now, logically, it just sounds stupid, but if you look into some cases, it makes no sense. Pretty sure you already heard of the teenagers that went to the beach and they found 2 unalive people stuffed in a suitcase, and it was the exact location. I also heard a story that a girl said she wanted to go somewhere scary, so it took her to an abandoned farmhouse. But the thing was, it was at nighttime and there was a random man just standing there by the door just for no reason. Another group of people also put scary and it took them to an abandoned house. But when they went there, they just heard like screams of agony. It wouldn't stop, and they heard like this whirring machine sound. It kind of sounded like a chainsaw. Now this is what I think is happening. I believe that there's people behind the scenes actually placing like the locations for people to go. That situation we just talked about, the girl and she went to an abandoned farmhouse and there was a dude standing there. I feel like that was like a human trafficking scheme. The kids that found the suitcase, I feel like someone put the location for the suitcase so it could be found.
So have you guys ever heard of the Randonautica app? If you're unfamiliar with this app, this app is creepy as shit. On the surface, it seems fine. Randonautica is an app that generates coordinates based upon user intent. And when I say user intent, I absolutely mean user intent. When you generate the coordinates, you think of what you want to find at the end of that coordinates. For example, you might think truth, and you hit the coordinates, and you go to the end of the coordinates, and you might find something that is truth-based, or show you a truth. And the darker you get with it, the worse it gets. I don't suggest it. And the reason why I don't suggest it is because I did it. 2 years ago, I started doing the ghost hunt and stuff. And when somebody told me that, hey, you should try the Randonautica app, I'm like, that's fine, because if I can do ghost hunting at night by myself, this app is no big deal. So I tried the app. But did I try it in the middle of the day? Hell no. I set a 1 mile radius and I focused my intent on something dark, something scary. And the app kicked out some coordinates. It was 1 mile into the woods behind my house. I am familiar with the woods behind my house, but this one was just off the beaten path a little bit. So I grabbed the flashlight and headed out. Now these woods aren't new to me. I've walked them 100 times on lives, walking around by myself, hunting ghosts with the ghost apps. For some reason, this one felt different. When I started through the woods, I kind of got scared because I didn't know what I was going to find. And I knew I was going to find something. I kept checking the app, making sure that I was going in the right direction, and I was. I got about 50 yards from the coordinates, and the deer trail that I was following towards it, it just stopped. So I had to force my way through the brush for 50 yards, give or take. It might have been 20 yards for all I know. I was scared at this point. I started getting close to the point and I saw that the woods kind of cleared out a little bit. There was a small clearing there, and that's when the hair on the back of my neck stood up. The app generated a point where there was little to no trees. I walked around this spot for about 2 minutes and then I saw an old coffee can, and it was a Folgers coffee can from probably the 1970s. It didn't have a lid on it. I looked inside of it and there were, honest to God, animal bones in that coffee can. And I was like, I'm done. I am freaking done. I am out of here. I turned to walk away. And as I started back, I had to check to make sure that I was heading in the right direction because it's dark. When I looked down at my phone, I noticed that I was standing right next to another pile of bones. Now, this was like an animal that had just deceased and had just laid there and rotted. It had been there for a long time. I start back towards the tree line and I see 2 more piles of bones. The one pile of bones was stacked up on top of each other. What? And then I thought about that damn coffee can. Somebody put those bones in that coffee can, and that's when I heard something behind me. On the other side of that clearing, something big was moving through the brush. It was probably a deer, but I was not going to stick around and find out. So I pushed through the trees all the way back to the spot where I thought the deer trail was. It took me forever to find the deer trail. When I finally found the deer trail, I was freaking gone. I booked it out of there. When I got back home, I deleted that app. And I went back to doing ghost hunts only. I went back to talking to spirits in the cemetery and in the woods, because I'll be damned if I ever go back over there again. Now, you might be wondering, is this really your story, Alan, or did you just pull something off of the internet? No, dude. No, this is my story. 100% my story. I fully intended when I arrived at those coordinates to open up the ghost app and talk to the spirits at the coordinates, because that would be cool, right? No, hell's to the no. I did not get a chance to do that because I got honest to God scared and I booked it out of there. The worst part about it is, how does this app know? How does this app know that you're gonna find what you're gonna find at the coordinates? I have read so much shit on the internet and I have watched all kinds of YouTube videos about this app, stories that are much worse than this one, but stories that I 100% believe, because I've had an experience exactly like this. Have you ever tried this app? And if so, tell me your story, because this app is one of the things that made me believe that we live inside of a simulation. But I want to know what you think. Damn it, man.
All right, guys, that was another compilation, man. That was on the Randonautica app. That was some crazy stuff going on. I have never heard of this app before in my life, ever. You made it this far, you a real one for real. Put that in the comments. Have you been on this app? Have you used it? Have you heard of it? Have you heard the stories? Let me know. And I've never heard of this app, and I'm not touching it. I don't want to download it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. This is it. This is it. This is it. Till next time. I got chills in this video. I got chills on this one. Self-love and positivity. Fire Squad, I got you, and you know it.